Alrighty then there, boys and gals, Boneyard Bob here this morning. Good morning. Lord has blessed us. Man, what a beautiful morning it is. Hey, the little pile here, she has melted down nicely considering, she started about 20 foot high yesterday. We've got these real big pieces that were really wet, that were buried down in that dirt. They've been sitting there just kind of cooking and drying out all night. Let me show you a little hack that Bob does. Maybe it'll help you sometime. Alrighty then, underneath those big pieces is a big bed of coals from all the smaller stuff that is burnt down. And will they keep sitting there smoldering? Yeah, but Bob would like to move it along a little bit. So Bob's going to take the little nugget, and we are going to set those bigger pieces over to each side, playing the wind. I'm going to be on the upwind side, which just 2 seconds ago, it was the other way. But I'll get the machine on the upwind side so that smoke and everything and a little ash is not blowing back toward the machine. And then I'm going to take this pile that I saved right here, a bunch of dry stuff, and I'm going to stick it back on top of those coals, and then I'm going to set all that big stuff back on top of it, and she'll go back to a blazing. Alrighty then, that's about 20 minutes well spent. Remember, air is your friend in a larger fire like this. It's no different than a campfire. If you're building it with your hands or you're building it with a machine, air is your friend. So during the night when all that stuff melts down, all of that stuff is kind of encapsulated in all the ash that was consumed, that was created from what was consumed. And then when it all sets down in that ash, then there's not airflow back up underneath there. So you notice I stayed on the upwind side as best as I could, and I set out what I could this way, and I set out over here to this side. I never reach all the way over the pile. I don't put the whole boom and the arm up over that heat because it's still hot. You may not see any fire, but those coals are hot, and you don't want to short life your hydraulic hoses, and it's, you paint and everything else, but you can keep your bucket out there and just be mindful. And then when you start setting that stuff back on there, once it was off, I took the bucket and I broke those coals open. And then there's stuff that comes up out of there, remarkably sit there all night long, and it's still pristine. It never caught fire because the ashes covered it before it could burn. And then you've got dry, super kindling, and it just goes, here we go. And then stack your bigger stuff back on there and leave air gaps in it. Try to turn the stumps, whatever you've got, turn them in a way. Don't just sit there and Lincoln log them up. We're not making a log cabin. We're trying to keep it where air is moving through it. And now, that was total time. That's about 20 minutes. And that was me filming it. She's back burning, looking good. And another quick little tip, just from experience. Bob shares stuff not to be a know-it-all, because Bob don't know it all. It's what the Lord's given me in ability, because it ain't Bob. Don't get your machine, when I talk about not reaching all the way over the pile, don't run your tracks up in the ashes, because if you got some coals, they will get into, whether you got steel tracks or rubber tracks, it will lay up inside the tracks. And when you go to back up away from that pile, you'll start carrying those coals, and if you've got some brush debris on your machine, you might catch your machine on fire. And the other thing is, if you track back out beyond where you've got your dirt cleared, you can track coals into, I've seen it. I've seen someone burn a machine, slam up by tracking the front of it in, backing up, and then they got on the phone and wasn't looking, and it was too late. The machine was on fire. The other side is that bucket gets hot when you're out there messing with that. It is hot enough to ignite something, so when I moved the nugget back up here, I made sure that I had a bare ground spot to set that bucket down. Bob has done that before, but Bob was paying attention while he was on the phone and looked out, and the grass started smoldering and caught on fire just from the bucket sitting on there. And you could have some debris caught up in it, some coals. Just try to share things that Bob has seen or Bob has done to keep you in a better place. Bob's got to run into town, get some petrol, a little go-go juice for the little nugget, and we'll be back in a little while and check on her. Y'all have a blessed morning.